up, y'all? AJ here at Docs, and this video is for anybody who's looking to learn the kettlebell snatch or to coach the kettlebell snatch to beginners, okay? Now, when I say beginners, I say that loosely because if you have somebody who has never done a kettlebell swing before and they're in a group setting and other people are doing a snatch and they come over and they say, hey, I want to do a snatch, but their swings or even their single arm swings look like this, okay? Do not let that person do snatches. That's a hard no, okay? There is a learning curve to this, okay? So this video is going to be targeted more towards people who know how to do the kettlebell swing and know how to do the ballistic movement of the swing. And they have already a solid foundation of the different positionings that you must be in during the swing, okay? So I'm speaking to the people that have been using kettlebells for a little bit of time or you know, they at least have the basics down of the swing down, and I'm speaking to the coaches who are looking to essentially learn a more efficient way or a quicker way to essentially teach the kettlebell snatch, okay? So first things first, in order to learn the kettlebell snatch, you need to know what the destination is, okay? So what is the destination of the kettlebell snatch? It is with the bell overhead, okay? So if you have somebody who you want to put onto a program of developing the kettlebell snatch, get them into the overhead position. Nothing too heavy, keep it light, because at the end of the day, we just want them to feel comfortable with holding the bell over your head, okay? Now notice the grip of the bell, okay? It's in a speared fashion, okay? The fingertips going in alignment with my elbow, okay? And a not broken wrist at the top. This is a common thing that you tend to see all the time with people doing cleans and snatches. And that's when that bell flips all the way on over, okay? So first things first, you're gonna get somebody into a position, okay, of the overhead snatch position. Actively pull that shoulder down, elbows not broken, locked out. And you could essentially just have them do marches, okay? Marches in place. Again, if you're a coach who's coaching a group setting and other people are doing snatches, other people are doing single arm swings, have somebody who's never done the snatch before just do overhead, okay? It's great for movements in turn or exercise or workouts in terms of like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 45 on, 15 off. But you also don't want to go too much time with something overhead. You can have them switch side to side, okay? So that's step one. Step one is, again, getting comfortable with the bell over your head. Step two, again, I'm speaking towards people who already have somewhat of a foundation, familiarity with the ballistic motion of the swing. So step two, I'm gonna take you through the two-handed TRex pull series, okay? So what that is you're essentially setting yourself up just like a regular swing, and we're gonna go two-hand swing, but this time we're gonna keep those elbows in tight, almost like you're a T-Rex, okay? I'm not gonna do a T-Rex impersonation, so no. So the first step to this is the T-Rex low pull, okay? So it looks a little something like this. You're hiking it back and you're keeping it nice and close to the body, okay? Now notice where the elbows are. The elbows are barely lifting off of my rib cage, okay? That is the low pull. Now, progressing upwards, I'm going to go through to the mid pull, which is the elbow or the bicep and tricep come off the rib cage. So it goes from here, being attached to the rib cage for the low pull, up to about here, almost to the point where your chin meets your nose, somewhere in that region, for the mid pull, okay? And it looks a little something like this. So here's low pull, and I'm still finishing those hips, and then the elbows come off, and I'm going more into a mid pull, okay? So again, the handle of that bell is getting even just right around the chin to nose region. And notice, I'm not overextending, and I'm also not releasing the hands out. I'm keeping everything close to the body. The third is going to be the T-Rex high pull, okay? So again, you're just traveling vertical with the bell, keeping the elbows somewhat bent, or definitely bent, but somewhat close to our body, okay? So I'm gonna progress through right now with the low pull to mid pull up to the high pull, okay? So it looks a little something like this. Low pull, finishing the hips, close to the body. Mid pull, a little bit higher. The elbows are coming off the rib cage, and then high pull, okay? Notice the angle of the bell is going up onto a 45-degree angle, and the elbows are still bent, but you're creating a little bit more of like an obtuse angle, okay? So again, the goal here is essentially keeping that bell close to the body, okay? Now, if I were to have a wall here, I don't want to hit that wall. I want to keep everything nice and close to the body, because if you think about it, the snatch is more vertical fashion, okay? Whereas the swing is more horizontal fashion. So the hips go back a little bit more into a swing, and then the bell is going the opposite direction, going outward. Whereas, now I'm just talking about where the hip placement is, but I won't go too deep into this. For the snatch, you're getting hinge, but you're squatting down just a little bit more because the hips go down, because they're gonna do the inverse of where the bell is going, which is vertical, okay? So, step 2 is taking your client or taking yourself through the full-on TRex pull series, okay? So step 1, just as a recap, get comfortable with the destination of the bell, okay? What it feels like having a bell in the proper position overhead. Step 2 is building up the progression of how to get to where your destination is, okay? Which is the TRex pull series. So simply put, if I were to put this into a little bit of a workout, what I would have somebody do who's wanting to learn the snatch, okay? It's 30 seconds, overhead, marches. Come down, 30 seconds, overhead, marches. Is 30-30 is a little bit too much, then just go 20-20, okay? Then I would go into a little bit of a complex, okay? First things first, I would essentially go through low TRex pulls for a set of 10, put the bell down, then come back to it, and then go into, this is not a complex by the way, okay? Then put the bell down, then go into a mid pull so you get a feel for it. And if you're a coach, it's great to actually video this, okay? Get a visual. A lot of us in the kettlebell world are honestly just, you know, we're all athletes, okay? I don't know about you, but like for myself, I'm a visual learner. So I like to have videos of myself so I can see what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing correct, okay? So take out complex, we're not doing a complex right now. So you would do 10 low TRex swings or TRex pulls right into 10, okay? Mid TRex pulls up into 10 high pulls. Again, you're not going heavy here. You're just focusing on the basics right now, okay? Now, that right there, that is the building block to what it is going to be for the kettlebell snatch, okay? You have the overhead positioning, you have the TRex two-hand pull series, okay? Now, building up, you're taking that hand away from the bell. Now, it's the same thing as the TRex pull series, but this time it's just going to be with one hand. Now, you already have somebody that's already got the basics down of feeling it out, knowing what the position and what the level of the bell is going to be in. Now, you're gonna do that exact same thing, but you're taking that hand off the bell, but I still want the arms to be mirroring each other, okay? So as you progress through this, what I want you to feel and get a feel for is tapping the top of that bell, tapping the top of that bell. So right here, this is a single arm, low TRex pull, and then this is the mid TRex pull, single arm, and then here is the high single arm TRex pull. Notice that the elbow stays bent. I'm getting higher and higher, okay? Now, the reason why I like to use that other hand is because as people progress up and up and up and up, it gets, that bell up top starts flailing around, okay? Again, this whole video is essentially created for the person that already has comfortable with the bell to some degree. They have the swings down, and then they're just trying to work their way up to that snatch, okay? So, but either way, I just want that other hand to stay involved in some capacity to help guide that bell. Almost works as a little bit of a buffer, okay? To keep that bell from flying off, okay? Because the thing is, you can reduce that by just taking the hand away a little bit at a time, okay? So, part 3 of this little series is the TRex, the single arm TRex pulls, okay? Low pull, mid pull, high pull. So again, just from a progression base, you can break it down. Instead of doing 10, 10, 10, you could break it down and go 5, 5, 5, okay? And this time you can actually turn it into a little bit of a complex, just to keep things simple. Just go 3 reps of each side, okay? So 3 reps of each, the TRex single low, 3 reps of the mid, 3 reps of the high. So it looks a little something like this. Keep it low, you're still finishing the hips. 2, 3, and now we're going up a little bit higher. Okay, right around nose, chin for 3, and then punching it up a little bit higher. Again, you're using that opposite hand to guide that bell, okay? Making sure that that bell doesn't flip up and over. All right, so that's 3 parts right there. Overhead, comfortability, holding the bell over top. Step 2, the 2-handed TRex pull series. Part 3, step 3, would be the single arm TRex pull series. Step 4, okay, which is a little bit of a backtrack, but a lot of people jump to this right out of the gates, is the dead snatch, okay? The dead snatch, okay? Now this is working 2-part. 1, this is allowing you to essentially feel comfortable 2 ways. A lot of green heads up here. 1, kind of going back to what I had said previously about the inverse of where the bell goes is where your hips go. The dead snatch forces you to sink deeper and allows you to drill that idea of the hips going down and going the opposite direction of where the bell is going to go, okay? Because essentially you're not going to do any kind of dead snatch with those hips up, because that puts a ton of pressure on your back, and plus it's not an athletic stance, okay? If I were to do a vert jump, and I want to jump as high as I can to dunk a basketball or touch the rim or anything like that, you're not going to jump like this, right? You're going to jump like this, okay? With that good strong position, knees under hips, hips under shoulders, okay? So with the dead snatch, you're working the hip motion. So you're allowing yourself to essentially get into a good position to create more power to go in a vertical fashion with the kettlebell, okay? The second part of this is you're allowing yourself to transition the bell from the floor up into that top snatch position, okay? In a quicker way, but also you're just allowing yourself to essentially work the transition of it, okay? So from here, standing with that bell, even with your heels, hips get pulled back, get this opposite arm involved, almost like you're doing a broad jump or a vert jump, and you're gonna demonstrate for yourself or for your client, and you're gonna demonstrate for them to start, okay? And you can even, once they start doing this, video them to have an idea of their visual so they have a visual for themselves, okay? So again, just like you'd be doing essentially a clean, you're going to punch that bell straight on up, okay? Rack it, back down, dead snatch it all the way on up, okay? Now, I should have mentioned before, but again, I kind of did mention this. This is for essentially, I'm speaking to the person that already has these swings down. When you have the swings down, basically also putting the people who have the clean down into that same bucket, okay? But this is for people who haven't done the clean. If you've never done a kettlebell clean before, then I would start with the double kettlebell, or would start with the dead clean before going into the dead snatch, okay? Which is simply zipping that bell up the jacket, back down, zipping it on up, okay? From there, you're zipping it, and you're getting higher and higher and higher, okay? Now, I'll pull it back a second, just in terms of, from a teaching standpoint for the dead snatch, okay? Because this is another beautiful way and very easy way to essentially teach the snatch from the dead position. And all it is just essentially a higher clean. And you're just doing the clean higher and higher and higher and higher, okay? But again, the end goal is to combine the ballistic element of the swing to the snatch, okay? So, to break down the dead snatch, okay, this is for people who've never done the dead snatch, or for a coach essentially who has never taught the snatch or never taught the dead snatch, or you just have somebody who, you know, wants to feel a little bit more comfortable and wants to progress their dead clean or clean in itself up to a snatch. And all it is once you get that dead clean down, you're just gonna elevate that elbow a little bit higher each time. So a little bit higher, down, a little bit higher, down. You already have that rotation, and you just keep going up and up, all the way on up until you get into that dead snatch and top of the snatch position, okay? So that was a quick sidebar in terms of teaching the dead snatch, okay? Again, if you have somebody that's already feeling comfortable with the dead snatch, now it's just a matter of combining the hike, turning it into a swing, trying to keep it as simple as humanly possible, and go through that whole progression from the bells in front. You're going into a single arm, low TRex pull, mid TRex pull, high TRex pull, and you already have the comfortability factor of knowing what it feels like with that bell rotating around or over the wrist from the dead snatch, and you're just punching that hand through at the top, okay? So, recap, okay? Actually, I'll finish it off right now, okay? So from here, you can add some single arm swings because this person already knows how to do the single arm swing. Then turn it into low, mid, high, punch it on up. Racket, turn it into a half snatch. Hike, you can cut out the low, go right to the mid, right to the high, right to the snatch. Mid, high, snatch. Now take out the low, take out the mid, go right to the high and right to the snatch. Half it. High pull, snatch. Now eliminate the high. Rack, back, punch. Pull down a little bit quicker, punch it up, back down, and now trust yourself, pulling it down and up. Drop, flip, down and up, okay? So again, this right there, pretty basic progression in terms of building up the kettlebell snatch. But again, just as a recap, as we progress through this, you're starting with yourself or any of your clients of getting comfortable with that bell overhead. That's step one. Step two, you're having that bell out in front and you're going through the two-handed low pull, mid pull, high pull, TRex series, okay? Step three, you're going through the single arm, low pull, mid pull, high pull, TRex series. And you're keeping that hand involved that entire time, okay? So you're using that opposite hand to guide yourself up and up and up, making sure that that bell doesn't flip over, snatch the wrist, okay? As you're progressing through that, you can slowly take that hand away. And then from there, you're going through the dead snatch series, okay? Which again, if you've never done that one before, it is start with the dead clean, a little bit higher, let the bell rotate, a little bit higher, rotate, punch it on up, rack it, go right into it. Swing, low pull, mid pull, high pull, snatch, okay? So, like I said, told you this video is gonna be a little bit on the longer side, okay? Hope this helps. Let me know how it goes for you. Get after it. Tag me at Doc's Fitness with some Doc's cues. Let's go, baby. Enjoy.